It began the moment I spawned in, and to this day, I still don't know how I sensed it. I mean, it was one of my own species, but this one wasn't friendly. I turned and swam. The jaws of the other croc snapped shut inches from my tail. One single bite and my life was over before it even started. I made for the shoreline, desperate to escape. The footsteps thundered onto land after me as I dashed into a cave. For a second, I thought I was safe, but into this unknown, I was followed. You see, I've got huge plans for this video, and I'm going to push this creature further than ever before. We'll head to some very, very different locations. The difficulty will rise until finally we head to the most dangerous river in the game, with the goal of conquering it. But if I die at any point, like maybe in this cave, all of my plans fall apart. So how did I get here? Well, I just spawned way over here, a quiet lake with no immediate danger. On paper, the perfect place to stay hidden and begin our journey from tiny hatchling all the way to fully grown adult. But at this lake, upon entering the water for the very first time, I saw it. Okay. The fully grown Sarcosuchus. Everything that our hatchling hoped to become in future was right there, and it was about to showcase its unbelievable power. Just like this, we'll lurk, completely invisible. You see, everything needs to drink, but nothing may return. Within this life, my goal is to master every playstyle this creature has. So not only will we dive out of the water and drag unsuspecting players down into the deep, but now this croc can slide down hills at incredible speeds, so we can ambush players in complete silence from previously impossible locations. Yeah, this one is a lot of fun. And then there's a third playstyle, which at first I wasn't going to use, but it became essential, so we'll get to that one later. I watched this helpless player's final moments. I was half terrified, half excited for my turn. But after the other Sarco had made this kill, that's when it turned toward me. Wait, they could raise me, but my group invite was just ignored. And then I saw why. Oh, they've already got a baby. Go! To this player, I was nothing but a meal for its youngster. I swam as fast as I could, desperate to keep my dream alive. The croc eventually got close enough to wipe out half of my health in one single bite. Now, I had never set foot in this cave before, and I could hear the footsteps just behind me. Where do I go? Where do I go? Is it this way? The cave turned out to be more of a tunnel. Oh, it's gonna be a dead end. I'm just dead. I'm dead. It keeps going. Okay. The passage wound on, even forking in places, but still... Oh, he's right behind me! How? I can't escape. He's got me. Oh, that's the way out too. Even seeing light at the end of the tunnel didn't restore my hope. Oh, look, where can I go? But just as I escaped the darkness, something changed. Wait. Oh my god, he's stuck. He's stuck. How has that happened? I sprinted in the opposite direction of the cave, leaving this flailing croc in my wake. I didn't even know that cave existed until today. I cannot believe what's just happened. The croc would have to retrace his steps, leaving me just enough time to grab some food before realizing, yeah, he is never, look, he's right there. He is never letting me exist here. I need to go now. So I left the cannibal crocs alone and hoped that a different location would treat me even slightly better. See, on the Yellowtones survival server, there are players basically everywhere. But being so young and helpless, I somehow needed to find a safe place to grow. So being forced out of our spawn lake and into what we'll call the river highway wasn't exactly what I had in mind. Immediately, there were other players, and clearly, they weren't looking to make friends. There's an aloe. Oh, he's gonna get ambushed. He needs to run. It was no surprise to see this place was so hostile. This river links together some of the most important locations right in the very center of the map. It's dangerous, especially at my current size, but it's nothing compared to what we have in store. I'll have to survive in busy rivers, tiny mountaintop ponds, and even places with no water whatsoever. Then, if we do survive these places, the final, busiest, most dangerous location awaits us. But for now, we should probably focus on surviving our first 10 minutes. I really need to find somewhere safer than just this river, to be honest. Oh, hello. While I'm this small, hunting for my own food is completely impossible. Well, unless the playing field is somehow leveled. Oh, Oh, hang on. Wait, what if he comes... oh my god, he might. Just as I suspected, the styraco fleed into the water. I hid in the depths, watching as it continued to be attacked. A chance at such a huge meal so early on is indescribably rare, and even though I deal barely a fraction of the damage I will when I'm fully grown, I managed to steal this food from the mouth of an apex predator. He's leaving too, no way! But these events had attracted every hungry creature within earshot, so my time enjoying the spoils of my very first battle was cut short. Oh, he's jumping in! Well, if you're that desperate for food, then you can just have it, you big fatty. As it turns out, I'd moved on just in time. The hordes had arrived. I tried to stay out of sight as more chaos developed, and this time it was safe to say I wouldn't have survived. I swam downstream into the distance, very thankful that I'd left when I did. Our first day was rapidly coming to a close, and I certainly didn't want to be caught in this river highway after sunset. Guess what happened? What was that? Oh, that was another Sarco. Run, run, run. I'd been trying to head further upstream to safely spend a night in this lake, but now that looked a lot less possible. Oh, there he is. There he is. My chances of surviving the first night had just plummeted. Oh, there's another one. I'm in the wrong place, aren't I? I'd hidden in this bush so long that we'd reached our first growth stage. And while this is a big step toward becoming adult, we had a life-threatening problem brewing. The entire river highway, a place that we cannot leave for days, is absolutely full of other crocs. And I was focused on just one of them, who I was convinced was waiting in the water just in front of my bush. As it turns out, I was right, because as soon as I moved, the footsteps started. Oh no! Oh, that's so bad! Thinking I'd lost the croc in the bushes, I made my way to higher ground. Foolishly, I thought I was safe, but I'd relaxed way too soon. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh my god, he's gone past. Oh, I thought I was dead. How? After these scares, I eventually plucked up the courage to make my way up the waterfalls and into the top lake. I'm looking around, there is no players in this end. Good, good. Here, as opposed to a simple river, there were many fish to feed on and even more places to hide. A well-earned break from the constant danger we'd experienced so far. And we'd unlocked a new ability. Gator Dash is the first step toward mastering the ambush playstyle we spoke about earlier, so it seemed for once things were going my way. Until morning. What was that noise? Ooh, just another Sarco. Okay, the noise definitely wasn't made by him, which meant we were sharing this lake with something much bigger. And then, that thing found me. A fully grown spinosaurus had laid claim to this lake. Wait, is he chasing me? Oh, yeah, it is. I headed in the only direction I could, but slowly, this giant had caught up with me. Oh my god, I have to actually do it. I have to commit. With no further thoughts or any time to spare, I made the leap. Please make it, come on. Okay. Not even halfway grown, I'd survived yet another encounter with an apex predator. I knew I needed to leave this river. I was wise enough to know that one day my luck would run out. It's just a shame that that day was today. Wait, that's the same one. He's still chasing me. Why? And as I left the water, things got even worse. Why? Maybe I have to go back this way. Oh! What do? Past him? Please don't. He stood up! And in the corner of my eye, running for my life, I caught sight of both creatures drop into the water. In complete disbelief of the scenario I'd gotten myself into, I ran. Now with two fully grown apex predators on my tail, what better time than right now to very quickly tell you about today's sponsor, TesterUp. Now while you're waiting for the queue to go down to get into your favorite server, instead of just sitting there bored out of your mind, you could be earning real money simply by testing apps and answering surveys on your phone. TesterUp is completely free to use and sign up only takes a couple minutes. You just pick an app or survey that interests you, complete a few simple tasks, and get rewarded for your time. Payments can even arrive within 24 hours directly to your bank account. Now this is my personal phone, and I don't just want to show off my really cool Yellowtones background, I want to show off my TesterUp account and more importantly, my TesterUp balance. It's okay, no need to be jealous, because if you sign up using my link or QR code, you'll start with a free $5 bonus already waiting in your account, and you can get paid up to $80 in a single app test. With new games and tasks being added all the time, chances are you'll find something you'd already be playing anyway. With a 4.2 out of 5-star rating on Trustpilot, what is there to wait for? Just please make sure to scan the QR code on screen or click the link in either the pinned comment or the description. This is how you get your $5 bonus, and with your help, TesterUp might just work with me again. Thank you all, thank you TesterUp, and we're back to, oh yeah, getting chased by two of the most dangerous creatures in the game. I had no idea what to do. I was quite frankly losing my mind. What the f*** is going on? Huge footsteps crashed onto land behind me. Thinking fast, I chose to loop around this rock, praying that this worked as an escape. The river lay just ahead, and I dared to think that the coast was clear. Upon re-entry, I saw that I'd narrowly missed the guarding Sarco. By what I can only describe as sheer luck, I was still alive. So now, I'd effectively been banished to the southern regions of the map. And even though I didn't choose this fate, the prospect of being able to go 5 minutes without something trying to kill me was probably a good thing. Still very much shaken, I head further and further downstream, continuing at full speed until I was near out of stamina, then finding a secluded bush, I took a more than needed breather. When did they make this game so hard? Down here, I thought I was finally safe. And while I was granted my first meal in a fair while, I found out that even here, oh no, there were still players. Oh, he's coming. It's time to go into the bushes again. Even in the south of the map, there's players. I'm not even in a location right now. I made a good server. I like this server. And so the answer, head even further south. Nice. It had taken forever, but I was now safe to make some silent progress. I got to eat in peace and even encounter some more of my own species. Oh, no way. After a lifetime of near-death experiences at the hand of other crocs, for once I wasn't the one fearing for my life. Yes. I had been prey in these crocodile-infested waters, but this first taste of being a predator laid some very interesting seeds of thought. If Sarcosuchus cannibalism is so common, then the need to fight others wasn't going away. Surely some of the many abilities that this creature has would give us the advantage in the water, and that would be our secret third playstyle. So down here in the south, away from players, I began the long grind of completing quests. Each quest earns marks, and marks buy abilities. For 3 completely different playstyles, I was gonna need a lot. I got a rest here, perfect. Quest complete. 50 marks, that was not worth it. I can buy like a 10th of an ability. And all the while in this period, my safety was never ensured. I didn't realize there were any players here, but I need to learn something about Yellowtones survival, and that's that there are players everywhere. Nowhere is safe. Now you probably already know that we have 2 servers on Path of Titans, but we've just launched Yellowtones Survival for the Isle. Now I'm going to be spending the next week or 2 on this server recording a very big video for this channel. Hopefully this is good news for those of you that play the Isle, but if you don't, I've got even better news. Our croc is now fully grown. Oh, we are adult. Okay, this meant we could begin mastering our first playstyle, the Classic. Just like the first Sarco we ever saw, we'll use Gator Dash to gain unnatural speed and burst out of the water, then use Clamp to grab them and drag them down to their demise. Immediately, I headed north again, planning to hunt every single location that I'd previously been forced out of. And halfway back up the river, you could already feel that the dynamic had changed. Oh my god. This chance, I hoped, could be the beginning of our very long reign. Come on. I knew this was the way. I'm nearly out of stamina. Die! Yes! Oh! And that's how you know we might have made it. We are no longer small. I didn't have all the abilities, and I hadn't yet the experience, but the kills in what were now my waters kept on coming. Go. Yes! That was a bite-sized meal. I would have got more food from killing this. But amidst this new era, I was reminded that in this game, there's always a bigger challenge. Oh! Okay. Well, there's a player. That looks like a fully grown Rex. Yeah. Clearly, my recent success had me feeling confident, because then I made a promise that would be very difficult to keep. Add that to the list. I will take one of those down. It is ambitious, because I'm a lot smaller than a big Rex, but that can be done. Surely that can be done. So I moved on with this new goal in mind for later. I hunted basically every part of the river highway, which was now strangely empty. And on my way back to the top lake, you know, the place I was chased out of by a fully grown Spino, I realized there was a way to make this journey much safer than last time. You know what, I should really have mudslide on for this. To use mudslide, you first need muddy scales. This lets you roll around in the dirt until you're fully coated, and then comes the fun part. Of course, this can be used to escape while on land, but it's also the defining ability of our second playstyle, the land croc. Easily the most unexpected way you can ambush other players. Yeah, I cannot wait to use that to hunt. That's gonna be crazy. I eventually arrived safely at my destination, and here, because I already had practice hunting rivers... Do not stand up. No! Why are you doing the opposite of everything I say? Never mind, you're doing the perfect thing. Good job. I found myself a meal for the night. Thank you. I just spot something, and as soon as it makes a mistake, it's dead. Now, as you know, I want to take this creature across the entire map. And no longer fearing this area, it was time for a much bigger challenge. I'd leave the huge river highway behind in favor of a small pond. Now, it sounds like a strange place to go, but this pond is on the outskirts of our final location, the most dangerous area in the game. I began on what would be a long journey around the entire island through the ocean. As we got closer, I began to worry about the size of the creatures we'd meet at the mountain pond. After all, in my lifetime so far, all I'd hunted is a few much smaller players. But along my journey, one sight made these worries very quickly disappear. I just went to the toilet, and I come back to see this. Even in the ocean, I'd found myself a hunt. The mum sat down. No way, they're sleeping. Do I just go? I shot out of the water, but somehow missed my first bite. I kept going. Come on. This fully grown stego slowly rose to its feet, but just before it began to move, yes! It was down. And the baby's here! What are you gonna do, bud? What are you gonna do? Why did you come over here? What a time to come back. Oh my god! And that marked the end of the Stegosaurus family. I think they were resting in this zone, that's why they sat down. I did that earlier. Too good. When this game goes right, it's so fun. Now, we still hadn't visited any of the increasingly challenging areas that we'd planned to. In fact, I was way out here on this tiny peninsula. I'd been genuinely shocked by the 2 kills I'd just gotten. So when I looked up and saw a potential third, I couldn't believe my eyes. Hello? Hold on a minute, are they gonna rest as well? Go on, rest. Rest. Do it. No, why are you not doing it? I made my way around the other side of the peninsula, hoping to catch this creature off guard. Here we go. Oh my god, he's sat down. Let's go. I attempted to ambush this Cryptops on land while it slept. Go. But it reacted too quickly. Ah! And now I found myself in very unfamiliar territory. Come on. I was now in my very first fight on land. Now, the Sarco isn't maneuverable enough to dodge this creature, so it all came down to who could deal the most damage. Surely he's low on stamina now. Luckily, that turned out to be me. Yes! Slowly, it dawned on me that I'd just played Land Croc without any of the abilities from our second playstyle at all. That's when a thought developed in the very back of my mind. Maybe, just maybe, after I'd spent some time at the small pond, I'd be strong enough to abandon the water altogether. Interesting. It may have taken nearly all of the night, but I was getting very close to our pond. Now, a trip onto land and a pond with, let's face it, nowhere to hide calls for a new skin. There we go. I even made my eye darker as to not stand out. Hopefully, this is kind of the best color to be. This journey up the mountain could well have been scary. I even rolled in mud to make sure I had an escape route if I was ambushed, but I made it uninterrupted. Now we wait here. Oh, my skin is better, that's for sure. Look at the way I blend in with the mud on the bottom. That is better. And I best hope that this skin made a difference, because up here on this mountain, life was different. There isn't any fish. So we are relying fully on kills of real players. And that is it, just to survive. That meant that if I did get a chance to kill, I couldn't let it go to waste. And within just a minute of my arrival, I can hear footsteps. I can hear footsteps. Oh! A Carnotaurus had arrived, probably fresh out of a battle and looking for a peaceful place to drink. It being one of the quickest creatures in the game, I had to prevent it from running. So I tried to grab it. Nope. But it was obviously too big, and this mistake had brought my fear to life. Not only had I squandered my first chance in a place where food is more crucial than ever, but I now had the hopeless task of chasing a Carnotaurus. As a crocodilian, I didn't fancy my chances. Go, go, go. But somehow, I just kept catching it up. I rounded another corner, and I did it again. At this point, the Sarco's ability on land could not be ignored any longer. No way! I just chased down one of the fastest, most dangerous carnivores out there. That's a Carno. And this is where I decided that our second playstyle, the land croc, you know, the one where you cover yourself in mud and do this, whee! Hello, tortoise. Was a completely viable way to play with no water needed, especially with the speed of the Sarco and a couple other added abilities. Let's say I'm in a fight and something behind me is chasing me down. If I get surrounded, watch. That is dangerous. So I lined up a huge challenge. Toward the north of the map is the grasslands. This place is essentially just an open field, and you guessed it, there's really not much water around. It's probably the polar opposite of the ideal crocodile habitat, but nonetheless, we would head there next. Deciding to take on this challenge really did occupy my mind for a short while, and it caught me truly off guard when this pond started to offer more and more opportunity. After the rain cleared, footsteps became easier to hear, and players easier to spot. So they can swim, but I don't suppose it matters if I just roll them. With ambushes like this, life at the pond got a whole lot more satisfying. If I do that, and then I go to the water, and I roll them, they can swim, that's the only problem. They are choosing, no. But even when I ran out of stamina while rolling, with my prey seemingly free and all feeling lost, I simply took to the land again. Where have they gone? And with a bit of luck on my side, retrieved what was rightfully mine. Yes! They were one shot! Oh, no stamina again. What, you thought I was just gonna let you sit up here and heal? Hello? I slowly began to realize why land was working so well. I think a croc running at you full speed from the bushes is something you just can't prepare for. Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. And once you've been grabbed, your only hope is in stamina. Kill it, kill it! Yes! Oh, just replacing all my old food with new food. I'm just gonna stay full stomach here until like another giant dinosaur comes and overthrows me, I guess. And Hello? Hello? I mean, that is a dasp. I don't think I can grab dasps. I've done my research. Fortunately, as I'd now learned, not every kill needs the grab ability. I can simply do that though. All in one day these kills have been. At this point, the water was just somewhere to hide, somewhere to give me the initial advantage, and then I'd simply chase down whatever unfortunate creature had decided to drink where I hid. In all of my time here, the biggest challenge I faced was when I stayed hidden for a bit too long. Oh, my screen is going black. Oh, wait, what the hell? It's because I've been under the water for too long. Hold on. There's someone right here. How has this even happened? How has this even happened? Drown them. Mr. Tones is king. Even though he did nearly go AFK for so long that he drowned himself to death. Now I could have stayed in this small pond for maybe the rest of the video. As long as players continued to need water, I'd have a constant supply of food. But as we've established, I have much bigger goals. I've got to survive out of the water in the grasslands. I've got to visit the most dangerous place in the game. There's a whole secret third playstyle that I'm yet to even discover, and of course, I made the very intelligent promise that I would somehow kill a Tyrannosaurus Rex. So clearly with a lot to do, I needed to survive. And that meant that heading to the grasslands with absolutely no experience as a land croc was probably not the best idea. But in this moment, I remembered something I'd seen a long while ago. Before entering the world as a Sarco myself, I'd watched a lot of Sarco content on YouTube. It was during this research that I found Toast and his channel. Now since then, I've watched many of his videos, and each one of them is basically a treasure trove of tips and tricks. But it was this one that showed me the light. Yeah, this is going to require a shout out. 100%, this is insane. In that video, ToastHub shares with us a hidden spot at a perfect distance from the pond, so you're able to, well... Oh my god, there's someone there already. Look. Use the mudslide ability from behind the rock at the top of the hill, all the way down to the small pond in complete and utter silence, and grab your prey before they know what's hit them. No way. No way. It's a Rex. It's a Rex, but it's a small one. Yes! Yes! Okay, everyone please subscribe to ToastHub. Wow, that is a young Rex. That's not quite the Rex kill we wanted, but that is a Rex nonetheless. And so began my journey to master our second playstyle. Ah, that is so cool. It would take a while for me to get everything right, but this new spot definitely gave me the best conditions to practice. I hear footsteps. Can I see footsteps though? That doesn't make any sense. Can I see the dinosaur making the footsteps? Yes, I can. Okay. He's probably gonna drink, right? Eager for some more experience, I set off before I quite knew where the Spino was. It didn't stop at the water, and with it being just out of reach of my mudslide, it heard my approach. Luckily, I still grabbed it. Just roll him! Uh-oh. With my stamina running out again, there was a chance that the Spino could have escaped. But not this time. And another bit of food. I love this method of ambush. See, sliding doesn't actually take effort, it just uses up mud. But running is taxing, so when you finally grab your prey, you don't have the stamina to hold them. And this had now happened twice. I'd have to take what I'd learned about the maximum distance of our slides and judge my attack perfectly. Only then would I feel ready to take on the grasslands. Oh wait, what is that? It's huge. Once more from my hiding spot, I could see players. There's a smaller thing with it. Let's just do it. I set off again, hoping that this time my attack was perfectly calculated. Even when I realized that my timing was on, the execution would prove even more difficult. Go! Oh my god! But I'd managed to snatch my prey from right under the nose of the Sarcosuchus. Please die! Please! Yes! I was almost in disbelief with how perfectly that had gone. I took your boy! Wow, what a cool kill. And if this kill wasn't the thing to prove to myself that I was ready, I don't know what would be. You know what? I'm gonna move in the cover of the night. I wanted to do this since we got here. Let's go! For this entire journey, I managed to stay out of the sight of other players. And with the help of the mudslide, of course, I arrived just before sunrise. Alright, so this is savanna grassland. As you can see, there's a few little bushes dotted around, but it's mostly a very open place. Now, normally this wouldn't be a place for a giant crocodile to be because water is a fair way away on every side. And so if I could survive in the grasslands, then I was confident I could survive almost anywhere. To stand a chance, we'd need to master our second playstyle, and I had some practice under my belt. But nothing could have prepared me for just how exposed I would be out here. The sun is rising. I just hope that this is a successful day. But for a while, the grasslands lay silent, and while this meant I hadn't been killed, I had developed a hunger of my own. Oh. I just seen something. Oh wait. Oh no, he's going to the waystone. That means he's bringing another player here. That's not ideal at all. 2 Allosaurus would be a very tough fight, so I was fearing the worst. Oh my god, he's brought a baby. He's brought a baby! Okay, wait. Let's go. This might take a long time. This is going to be a long hunt. Now, I stalked this pair for a very long time. They're drinking. And of course, I planned to take the easy target.
If the baby's with him, I could be in business.
But then I got worried they were leaving and decided to speed up the hunt. Now this was a mistake.
Uh-oh. Did he see me?
I had indeed been seen, and clearly in an attempt to defend their baby, the larger Allosaurus headed straight in my direction. Here, a fair distance from water, I had no other option than to face this Allo head on. This was not how I planned the encounter to go at all. And while I fought for my life, it had been such a long time since I had a 1 versus 1 on land. I couldn't believe I'd only practiced sliding from cover and catching prey off guard. I wished so badly that I'd practiced for any other eventuality, but I simply hadn't. Only now did I realize that this was a losing battle.
Uh-oh, this is bad.
And only by pretending that I had enough stamina did I feign an escape.
To the water, to the water. Okay.
If the Allosaurus hadn't bought this, I'd have died in my very first encounter in the grasslands.
I do have water, it's just very tough to get to. I've learned that much.
But maybe the Allosaurus wasn't done there.
I think he thinks he's sneaking up to me.
This time, I'd have to do better. We'd each learned how the other played, and while the Allo reacted quickly to my very obvious swerve bite, the rest of this fight, very fortunately, seemed to go my way. With my stamina back, I felt much more comfortable. It did help that the water was right next to me. It seems that in bigger fights, I'd have to utilize it.
You stay away, because I think he's weak, I think.
But I saw this as another chance to strike myself.
Are the little guys there? What if I go for the fight with the big guy and surprise him?
As they headed further inland, I chose to stay hidden.
Yeah, oh my god, he's there. I'm just gonna sneak. I'm gonna do this the whole way. He will not see me coming.
I continued to follow them across the grasslands without being seen. Now this was how I expected our first encounter to go.
Oh, they're close.
I prepared my slide and cast away any doubt that the previous encounters had given me. With the perfect approach and my target separated, this felt right. This was land croc. I rounded the anthill and snatched up the small Allo before the mother could react.
Go! I got him!
But now, further away from the water than our first encounter, I'd have to play to the very best of my ability, or this time, I might not get so lucky. But things had changed, and I now felt in control. This began to reflect on our prey's skin, then in its behavior, as it attempted to flee.
Yes! Yes, yes, yes! Oh, that was a long fight, and I lost some health back then. But we finally did it. So I can take an Allo on land. Oh, this thing is strong.
My first day here at the grasslands was now coming to a close, and while I was proud to say that it had been a success, I knew I was lucky to make it here. Things could have gone very differently. If an Allosaurus could give me so much trouble, no matter what mistakes I'd made, then what did I expect to come from challenging a Tyrannosaurus Rex? This task was always in the back of my mind, and would remain there until I either died or somehow completed it. In the meantime, I'd continue to improve as a land croc and hope that when the day came and I did face a Tyrannosaurus Rex, I'd be ready. The following days was some of the most fun I had. It felt like I just shouldn't be allowed in this landscape, and each hunt I imagined my prey's added shock of getting ambushed by a giant crocodile in the middle of a field.
This is a potential scare. Like, this guy actually might poo his pants.
Whether it was by sliding or just sneaking through the bushes, I was loving our second playstyle.
I told you. I told you. I told you. I saw the way he was moving. Yes! Oh, no one expects crocs on land here. Just in the bushes. It's so cool.
But not every ambush went entirely to plan.
He's seen me.
Sometimes it was minor issues, like being spotted in my approach, and occasionally I'd catch up with my prey just to run out of stamina before I could kill them. But even when this happened, things always had a way of working themselves out.
You're dead, and you might have survived.
In some instances, the luck I had was actually funny.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god. I'm not gonna kill it, I don't think. No, I don't think so.
Even the players who had seemingly escaped always found their way back to me.
Unless... Wait, does he not? Actually don't think he sees me.
So none of these things were ever an issue.
Try again.
But in that case, what was?
I got him!
Well, I discovered two. My first issue was that fighting larger creatures on land was simply off limits.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, that's a big mama. Hi. Hello. Yeah, it wants me dead.
I didn't have the maneuverability or the stamina to fight. So whenever I was chased, I took the nearest escape route back to water.
Oh, he's still coming. Oh, Lord, he here. No, please, please. Spare my health. I'm escaping. I'm escaping. Go, 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 go. 15% mud. All right. Yeah, that's in situations like that. Land is not the one for me, I don't think. That's just a little film theory for you right there.
As for this issue, I was already working on a solution. Of course, I'd foolishly promised to kill a Rex. The other issue was a little more concerning in the meantime, and that was groups. A 1 versus 1 with anything smaller than the Tyrannotitan that had just chased me back into the river was fair game. But as soon as there were 2 or more players to concentrate on, my brain just malfunctioned. It started off with a normal, perfectly planned hunt. Of course, it was a Yellowtones hunt.
He doesn't know.
So there had to be some trepidation.
Now he knows. Damn it, man. Wait. He didn't know at all. He was just running.
But I captured my prey as intended. And that was the last time life was easy.
There's another guy trying to... I got him.
See, at first, I thought this raptor was a laughable defendant. Although when 2 of them arrived and showcased just how annoying they can be, my level of concern raised slightly. I still believed that I'd win this fight with ease.
Got him. No, I had no stamina, of course. Big hit. Another big hit.
Even when the group of 2 turned into a group of 3,
oh, there's a little guy here now. What's he up to?
I frankly seemed not to care. I then took a glance at my health.
We got a problem.
If I'd been worried before this point, I'd have just ran to the ocean, or at least a lesser measure like hop in a bush, which I did now.
Killed one.
But this move to cover proved too little too late. Only now, when I just realized I had to take this fight seriously, did the pair begin pouncing. If I didn't shake this raptor off in the next few seconds, there was no doubt I'd be dead. But just as my health approached the end, I did.
Come on, how are you not dead? How? Oh my god, I'm next to death.
But with both raptors also weak and my escape to water all but secured, they finally backed off. I was very lucky to be alive, and as I embarked on a hunt to contribute to my recovery, I swore that I would never, especially while in such unfamiliar territory, underestimate another player again.
Actually recovering. Needed that food badly. There's nothing else around here. We're scared there for a second, but we are very much alive.
For some time after this near-death escape, I was a little worried about attacking anything. I tried to keep to myself, which did work for a while, but eventually my time ran out.
Oh, hello. Am I being chased down for a reason?
Now this was just 1 player, and they weren't too big, so my 2 issues didn't play a factor.
Yeah, you try that again, I dare you.
Well, at least until they did.
Oh, there's a raptor here too.
If there was one thing I didn't want to face right now, it was another pack of raptors, and this time they were much bigger. Not recognizing the severity of this threat immediately would most certainly kill me. My plan was to use the terrain to my advantage. Much like the bush strategy, this would make my tail a little harder to access. Although I knew I couldn't appear weak, so I did venture out into the open and become the aggressor occasionally.
You were hurt again?
Focusing on 3 raptors at once was, as I'd proved in the last fight, incredibly demanding. But I did feel as though I'd done some good damage, enough to put myself in good stead for the rest of the fight. And so I slowly, not sparing a couple more attacks to my tail, backed up to a rock and began to play a lot more sensibly. The trades instantly became a lot more favorable. I was doing much more damage to the raptors than they were doing to me.
And again.
So now, with the raptors weakened, a fair amount of health, good stamina, and then seeing one of the raptors hop onto the rock behind me to regain their own.
Watch this, ready? They forgot I had this ability.
I saw the perfect window of opportunity.
Let's go.
In our last fight, I telegraphed the grab way too early.
Got him. No, I had no stamina, of course.
But this time, I'd learned from my mistakes.
Let's go.
The entire fight, I'd been saving it for a moment like this.
One dead, one dead.
And the raptor's response was to flee.
You thought I couldn't grab, huh? Are they done? Did they give up? I think they gave up. Wonderful stuff.
Not only was this a moment of redemption, but this was a moment of overcoming a genuine fear that had held me back. Because in our next and last location, the most dangerous this game has to offer, there'll be an abundance of herds and packs, so a solo of any creature is bound to struggle. Now, I still had one issue, and that was of course fighting larger creatures. In my time in the grasslands, I had successfully hunted a small spinosaurus.
Yep.
Even now, as we speak, I'd just managed to kill a small Tyrannotitan.
Yes!
And earlier at the mountain pond, I'd managed to kill a couple more apexes, including this slightly bigger Tyrannosaurus rex. I felt that perhaps, although slowly, we were making progress towards a fully grown rex kill. But whether I was ready to leave or not, I had just tailed this Tyrannotitan out of the grasslands, and this felt like a natural point to move on. Now, my way out of the grasslands felt weird. I knew I had a huge task ahead, but for some reason I decided not to head straight to our final location, but first make a stop at the hot springs. In the moment, a detour seemed inconsequential, but this small choice changed everything about this video. Immediately as I arrived, I noticed I wasn't alone.
I have just seen... Where has he gone? There. That is a Sarco, and I think there might be two of them.
Now, I will never know what possessed me to make one of the most foolish decisions I've ever made. But what I do know is that our third playstyle was born in this moment. We've seen the classic ambush croc, we've recently played land croc, but allow me to present the water croc. With a combination of patient lurking and strong lungs, I'll deal 20% extra damage and have 50% increased armor while in water. The goal of applying these abilities was insane. A 1 versus 1 against another Sarco would have been a level playing field, but there were two here. I'd seen them. If I was somehow able to beat the odds and win this fight, it would come down to two things. I'd need to catch one of them off guard and do some damage early, then somehow force them to continue the fight in water, where my third playstyle's abilities would give me a little more hope. I could now hear one of the Sarcos.
He's very close.
This was easily the most nervous I'd been for any encounter in this entire video. Then suddenly, the nearby footsteps hastened.
Hold on.
There was no longer time to think. Whether I felt ready or not, none of it mattered. My plan was now in motion.
Go.
As soon as I started biting, the other Sarco started running. No doubt this would be in a straight line to its friend. It was crucial that I landed as many bites as I possibly could before the pair reunited, but this was all I could muster as 2 splashes became 3. This was it. All I could do was land more bites on my opponents than they land on me. With all 3 of us having the same speed and stamina, an escape from this fight was now impossible. I tried my very best to maneuver myself to the rear of the Sarco, only ever targeting one of them at a time. By this point, my hands were shaking more than I'd like to admit, but it wasn't me who showed the first signs of weakness. This croc had attempted to distance itself. One more bite had exposed scars on its skin. Another had exposed more, and in a battle where the odds were never in my favor,
There's one.
the tide had just turned. This next 10 seconds required 0 conscious thought. If I landed more bites than my opponent, I would survive.
No way.
And well, I did.
Yes. No way. What? That's a 2v1. I don't believe it. I've never done that before. Not 2 fully grown Sarcos. No way. That's different. That is a new achievement. If I had to fight that fight on land, I would lose. I think I might be ready.
And ready I was. Our two biggest issues in packs and larger creatures, my two biggest fears, had just both been conquered in one single fight.
That is an adrenaline spike and a half.
And upon leaving this area, I now had 3 different playstyles under my belt. Any situation that our final, most dangerous location could throw at me, I was somewhat experienced in and prepared for. There'd be many players on the bank of this river, so my speed of ambush would be vital. In the water, there'd be rival crocs, so I'd need to be ready for a challenge. And finally, on the land lay our biggest feat of all. If I was going to take over Grand Plains, then it would require the mastery of each and every one of our 3 playstyles. And toward this fate, I made my final journey. Through swamps and through the birch forest, until I entered the north end of the river that my entire life had led to. Now, the first thing I wanted to do was somehow safely assess this location. I tried to swim the length of the river, avoiding confrontation, but taking notes of the threats I'd have to deal with.
Yeah, I can already see fighting going on. I want to kind of like get through unscathed. I don't want to start a fight now. Okay, it's going to be tough. There's a Sarco right there.
I'd already made note of multiple dangers, but it was what I saw just around this corner that suggested this wasn't the full story.
Oh my god, that is a dead Dinosaurus. Who has killed that?
Seeing the largest dinosaur in the game lifeless on the banks, to me, suggested only one thing. It was here. I hastily made my way down to the southernmost point of this river.
That place is hectic. Oh my god, it's even busier down here.
Having seen the tough competition, I knew that food here could be scarce. So with a chance like this in front of me, I needed to take advantage. Much stronger now than a solo Quetzalcoatlus, this would be easy. And with a few bites, this player took to the skies.
Oh, he got away.
In this action, I hadn't just secured my first meal, but I'd made my first small impression on Grand Plains in my plan to take it over.
That's right.
This small boost of confidence, knowing that I could source food if truly desperate, had come at the perfect time. Because as I turned to venture back into the center of Grand Plains, a place I'd only been in for a few minutes, I was met with my first test.
Oh. Okay.
At this point in my life, I was no longer scared of a 1v1 with another Sarco. I had faith in all of my experience.
And that's the one.
I felt like now I could read them.
They're gonna try and turn on me.
And if this river was filled with only other solos, then I didn't think I'd have much trouble. But here, in the most popular place in the game, that of course wasn't the case.
Oh, there's loads of them. I'm gonna have to pick them off later. I need to go.
Now, I always knew there'd be groups of other Sarcos.
Oh, he's actually coming for me as well.
I just didn't think they'd be trying to rid me from their territory so soon. And still wounded from the last fight, this was a serious threat to my life.
This is harder than I thought. Oh god.
Eventually, I plucked up the courage to look back again and was thankful to see that the chasing Sarco had given up. Now, as a Sarcosuchus, to truly say I'd taken over Grand Plains, I couldn't be sharing the river with others of my kind. I'd have to be the only one left standing. After I'd healed slightly, I headed back to the center of the river, and what I saw could not have been any worse.
What is this fight? What am I looking at? Mosasaur, Sarcos,
Now, I'd already been dreading this task, but arriving here and seeing the reality of this river had made me think that it was just impossible. Perhaps a solo Sarco, king of the most popular area in the game, just wasn't meant to be. And I'll admit, I had begun the process of dreaming up alternate endings to this video. We still had a Rex to kill, there was that, but abandoning the water, abandoning what half of this video had led up to, it just wouldn't be the same. I assessed the giant brawl as it continued to rage on.
One's very dead, the others are running.
And slowly, I accepted that it would still be a fitting end to our story if I at least died trying.
I mean, if I want to get them out of here, what better time than like right now, huh?
And so I attacked, knowing that this could very well be the beginnings of my final moments.
Oh, they're already coming for me. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's a load of them. Look how many there are. What is this?
No matter how outnumbered I was fighting to the death.
The mosasaur's there. Look. This is such a hard task.
In order to make this river my own, it was fitting that I must face the most powerful creature the water has to offer. And alongside the pair of crocs, this group must have controlled the river for a very long time. Countless brawls like the one I just witnessed must have taken place. Now I had no idea how wounded that battle had left them, but noticing that the mosasaur had switched out with this croc, and then seeing this croc's reaction as I began to win this fight too, this behavior could only mean one thing.
They've got to be weak. They've got to be weak.
And it was in this next moment, an attempted mosasaur ambush, that I first believed I could do it.
Got him, got him, got him, got him.
The biggest of the three was gone. A huge step, but the fight was far from over.
I'm getting attacked.
Behind me, one of the crocs had returned, clearly with the plan of avenging his fallen friend. But now with my vast experience as a Sarcosuchus, again I was winning this fight, landing many more bites than I received. But even with my gradually acquired skill, I was forced to back up again.
There's too many of them. There's too many of them.
The nerves I felt in this fight must have been double what I felt when I fought the two Sarcos in the hot springs. Here, there was just no escape. I was in this river, my final location, until death. I turned around to see I was being followed by just one of the Sarcos. There was no question. I had to fight this.
I can do this.
Heading back toward danger again, I was more nervous than ever. But just as this croc became close to dying, it ran.
He's weak, he's weak, he's weak.
His friend returned to make sure I couldn't chase it, but this was now a final stand. If I could continue to dodge attacks and then land significant bites of my own, this time it was to the death. And with one more slip, then a bite.
Got him, got him, got him. Oh my god, oh my god.
It was all over.
Where's the last one? Where's the last one? Where on earth is the last one? I have no idea where they are. There's dead Sarcos everywhere. I've cleared them all out. What is this? I need to eat something. I'm just going to eat this. I don't see him anywhere. I think he's either logged off or just straight up ran the length of this river.
For the first time, in the water at least, there was complete silence.
The river's empty now though. The river is completely empty.
Grand Plains River turned in a matter of minutes into a graveyard.
I can just heal here peacefully. There's nothing left. Unbelievable.
But this couldn't be more perfect. I now had the base to conduct our final and most anticipated hunt. And by the morning, I'd already found one.
Oh, hello, big things. What's that, a Rex and a Giga?
So leaving the empty river behind, I set out on a Rex hunt.
Oh, there they are. There are those two. Oh, here they come.
I watched as this pair began an attack.
Come on, do some damage to each other.
I knew that after such a hunt, there was a good chance the Rex would be weak. I stayed just close enough to follow the progress of the fight, but not too close as to alert them.
Go on, hit him. That's it. Big hit on the Rex. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Come on, fight back, fight back, fight back. Kill them. That's it.
And eventually, I found the perfect time to strike.
The Rex is weak. The Rex is bleeding. They've just killed it. And now,
I began to slide down the hill with some confidence. But as soon as the Rex simply walked out of the way, it was replaced by the jaws of his very angry friend.
Not you, not you. I want the other one.
This Deinosuchus was faster and made quick work of me.
Ouch. Ouch.
And if you couldn't already tell, this fight didn't exactly go to plan.
That was very scary. Oh, I am weak.
Now, while I knew that attempt was exceptionally terrible, the doubts did begin to creep in.
I saw that going much better in my head, I'm not gonna lie. I saw them getting weaker, but no.
After I'd healed, I did some regular maintenance on my river in an attempt to forget just how daunting the task at hand was. A Sarcosuchus versus a Tyrannosaurus Rex is a complete mismatch. If I was somehow to do this, it would be because I'd found the perfect circumstance. And so leaving my river again, I continued the search for it. I did find something, a large sauropod that could make for some very good practice. But just as I was getting ready to attack,
Oh, he sat down.
crawling through the bushes, completely ready for this challenge, from behind me came the beating of wings, multiple sets of them.
Don't come for me, you.
But as we've seen, a croc out of water is considered an easy target.
They are coming for me. Brilliant.
I have notoriously struggled with multiple creatures, but this time, having come so far and our final goal within touching distance, I wasn't leaving anything to chance. I backed up deep into the brush as these creatures began to surround me. Cries rang out in every direction, and less often through the trees did I catch a glimpse of what was hunting me.
There's 3 of them. I don't know where the other one is. Oh, they're here.
The attacks now commenced, darting in one by one. I didn't expect them very often, despite keeping my head on a permanent swivel.
I'm being surrounded.
But it was only a quick flash of movement or footsteps in the dark that ever warned me of an approach. And when I found a good sightline, only then was I able to play offensively and begin our first real exchange of the fight.
Get him out of here.
The fight wouldn't end here, but I did some good damage to these flying creatures, and I was able enough to stand my ground.
I don't like the bleed. That is no fun. Okay, I fought him off kinda.
Unless I pulled off something drastic, this was going to be a close one. I then watched as my initial target just strolled on by. If I died here, I could safely be proud of what we've accomplished, but I'd always be left wondering. But it was right then that I finally got the one chance I'd been looking for. I stood up and attempted the play that I needed to grant me freedom. If this went wrong, I would take some serious damage, but with a quick succession of bites.
Dead. And out of here.
With 2 still remaining, I thought I'd be here much longer than I was.
And another one dead. Oh, the trees was the play. I knew if I stayed in the trees, I'd definitely have an advantage. Oh dear. Wait, I need some mud on me.
And after filling my stomach, I quickly fled to water once more. I spent that night making sure that the Grand Plains River was still mine. The last thing I wanted while hunting a Rex was to lose my one safe escape route. At this point, I was unsure if I'd ever find the perfect fight, but if I did, and it came down to the wire, I may need to return to the water. And on low health, anything in here, no matter how small it is, could pose a potential threat. I'd been on this mission for a couple hours now, and I was starting to think that it just wasn't gonna happen. Eventually, the river was bound to be overrun with players again, and chances are I'd lose my life trying to reclaim it. I mean, in reality, I was already on borrowed time. I'd proven over and over that land has the potential to kill me, and yet I still find myself out here, risking everything.
Oh my god.
But why? Why take this risk? I thought back to my spawn lake and the entrance of the cave. For all I knew then, it was a dead end. I thought of the leap of faith and the imminent Spinosaurus. What a chance I'd taken to survive. I thought of the mountain lake and my first steps onto land, the grasslands, the hot springs, those crocs. I thought of the river and the ongoing brawl. I'd thrown myself in and prevailed. And as I thought of these things, I was headed back to water, feeling slightly dejected and down. But it was in this moment, when I least expected it,
Oh my god, there's someone drinking there.
that I found our final risk.
It's a Rex. It's a Rex. It's a Rex.
I couldn't believe my eyes. This was the perfect chance that I'd spoken of. We were near water, I had mud, the river was empty, and the Rex was alone. Slowly, it turned to face me, and for a moment, I was in complete awe of the thing. For the first time, I was in direct contact with the creature I'd seen on the riverbanks so long ago. But from now until however this fight was to end, there was no room for error. I knew that one bite from this monster would do significant damage. I had to stay on the side or the back of the Rex, but the margins here were very fine. Whenever out on land, I was risking a very quick death. Already, a third of my health was gone.
Out.
I just hoped these risks I was taking had done some good damage in return.
But I actually managed to hit him.
My experience had played a factor. When I'd fought raptors, I'd learned when to be aggressive and when to disengage. And against the Yellowtones, I'd learned to time my attacks. Overall, I felt as prepared as I possibly could be for a fight of this magnitude.
Okay, back to the water for some stamina. Okay, we go again.
But this was a Tyrannosaurus Rex we were talking about.
Oh, you're brave.
And clearly, it had no intention of running away. This player believed wholeheartedly that they could and would be the end of me.
Uh-oh. Dodge that.
Now this charge attack, if landed, would put the fight to bed in an instant. I think by now the Rex had realized that I was a bit more of a threat than it had initially thought, and so it tried this charge bite again.
Okay, I don't want to be a part of that. I have no mud left.
If this attack was to land, it would break my bones and stop me dead in my tracks. I think that knowing this was a T-Rex meant that I couldn't possibly underestimate this fight.
Oh, I don't like that. Tell me that's not the most terrifying thing you've ever seen.
And while I'd been constantly terrified, showing the Rex the respect it deserved had actually worked in my favor. I'd been prepared for attacks.
Ooh, okay, perfect.
I'd been careful when to attack myself, and crucially, when not to. And I'd even understood that sometimes I'd need to back off entirely. But I still wasn't sure how to deal with this.
Oh, we're being watched. That is not good.
I decided that since I'd come this far, I'd just ignore it and carry on fighting. And to be honest, it was going incredibly well. I began to land more hits on the Rex without getting hit myself. So much so that for the first time,
He's running.
you could see my opponent was worried. Now it was time to play aggressively again, and by landing some more consecutive bites, I saw the reason for the Rex's panic. Scars. Scars on the body of the king. I was much closer to doing this than I had thought.
He's weak.
Suddenly, my own panic set in.
Okay.
I was so close to my final goal.
Okay, he's very weak. I need to be careful not to just get bitten on the head here.
And in this blind panic, I made the biggest mistake of the video.
Bait him to come for me. Oh no. Get down.
Now this mistake probably should have been fatal.
I'm bone broken. I messed up bad.
It had almost definitely cost me the fight. And as these two scavengers began to surround us,
Oh, we both might be dead.
I considered just swimming away and playing to survive. But again, I remembered. I didn't leave the water behind and head into the grasslands because it was safer. I didn't fight for Grand Plains River because it increased my odds of living. And I didn't build the Yellowtones survival servers or our new home on the Isle because somehow I'd die if I didn't. Anything meaningful seems to begin with a risk. Failure, loss, wasted effort. But the greatest risk of all is always the alternative. Never finding out what might have happened if you tried. And maybe that's why we take risks at all. Not for food, not for safety or survival, but for the chance to discover what waits for us beyond. And so I stayed, and I fought.
Come on.
All guarantees were gone. Just one final gamble, with everything at stake, to see which one of us would fall.
Yes! Go! Oh, I knew they'd jump in after. I knew they would.
I watched these two scavengers feast from the Rex. Truthfully, I was unbothered. The reward wasn't food. It was the journey that led here, the feat and the risk itself.
That was terrifying. I nearly threw it at the end as well.
Later, when I returned to Grand Plains River, nature had already healed the wound I'd left.
Oh my god.
I was never a very good croc. I'd spent my life chasing challenges I had no business chasing. But now, for the first time, with my mark left on the world and no more risks left worth taking, I returned to my roots and spent my final night like every other croc, letting the challenges come to me.
One for the road. One kill for the road.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget that I'll be on our Yellowtones Survival Isle server recording my next video for the next couple weeks, so I hope to see you all there. Oh, and give Tester Rep a try. Link in the pinned comment and the description. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.